You need to get rich quick, because right now you are like a mouse in a maze, and there are certain people who have been around long enough to basically be watching from a bird's eye view. Although you might be living day to day and you may not be realizing what's actually going on in the world, your timeline is tightening, and it's tightening really quick. Here's what's happening. You are getting squeezed from both sides. So for the normal person, right now we're facing rampant inflation. And when I say inflation, I'm talking about your cost of goods. How much it costs to fill up a tank of petrol, how much it costs to buy the item of clothing that you wanted to buy a year ago, how much it costs for your groceries, really just the cost of living. Now, I'm gonna be very honest to you. Once you get to a certain income, inflation could literally be anything, and it doesn't matter. You know, for the millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, guys, inflation doesn't matter. Inflation in asset prices matters, and that already happened 2 years ago, and now asset prices are coming down. The wealthy always win.
If you're in an upward spiral, do everything in your power to make sure that it continues.
2 years ago, wealthy people started buying up lots and lots and lots of assets. Assets like houses, stocks, cryptocurrencies, alternative assets like vintage cars, wines, watches, and then they rode it up and they rode it up, and then the very smart people, they sold. And the wealthy people sold at the top, and asset prices are coming down. Now, the reason I'm getting so worked up about this is because I know that in the next 12 to 18 months, we are gonna see buying opportunities in assets that will literally lead you to generational wealth. But here's the thing, in order to buy assets, you need cash flow. You need money for assets. I need you to become obsessed with buying assets in the next 2 years. Do me a favor, make it your wallpaper right now. Put it on a post-it note. Post it on your bathroom mirror. I need money for assets. Because as I said, if you have free cash flow, you have an opportunity for generational wealth. There are going to be some massive chess moves to be made in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Especially 2023 needs to be the year that you start actually buying some real hard assets. Right now, having a job is a liability for 95% of people. You need to understand we're about to go into a horrific recession. There will be large scale layoffs. So unless you're confident in the company that you work in, having a job is not a plan. And in the same way, starting a business that is not practical is also not a plan. Remember, you need cash to buy assets. Okay, so you need a business that gives you free cash flow. Saving is not a plan. Our parents always used to say, save money. You know, you need to understand the value of a dollar. You need to respect money. That is unequivocally not true in this era. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've looked around, but your own government doesn't understand the value of money. And your government is so keen and so willing to devalue its own currency, it doesn't care anymore. What are you doing? Stop messing around. Get your head in the game. If you play your cards right, it doesn't matter if you're starting from $0 today. I genuinely believe in the next 36 months, you could have between $1 to $5 million to your name in your investment portfolio. And the way that you do that is by realizing you need money for assets. Build a practical cash flow business quick, one that's remote, one that's lean, and one that provides you free cash flow, so that way you can invest in assets when they're at rock bottom. As I said, not right now. I don't believe right now. In the next 6 months, 12 months, even 18 months. And then basically you have all the momentum of over the next few years growing that business. And while that's happening, having the assets that you bought literally in the space of buying at the bottom of the market in the space of 3, 4, 5 years, having them double. There's no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. There's only a get rich quicker scheme. Making money will never be easier, but it can be a lot less hard than you think it is. If last year you were willing to put in a 6 out of 10 effort, and just being really honest with yourself, not like oh, I work so hard, blah, blah, like really all you were willing to put in was a 6 out of 10 effort. This year needs to be a 10 out of 10. You need to give it your all, because look, in life, there's only a few opportunities like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the gates to generational wealth is in front of you, but the issue is they're closing. And they're starting to close quicker and quicker, because I'll explain a very important concept to you. In life, there's career timing and market timing. Market timing is what we have right now, which is an incredible opportunity in the market where if you are involved in a certain industry or involved in a certain investment or whatever it may be, the tide actually pushes you forward. And that is the environment we have right now when it comes to investing, as I said, in the next 6, 12, 18 months. So that's market timing, and you've got market timing working in your favor. You've got market timing working for you. Then what we have is career timing, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. This is what I was talking about earlier. People want to start software companies when they've never built a real business in their life. You know, 10 out of 10 advanced, difficult business model for an entrepreneur that, just being honest, is a 3 out of 10. If I tried to start my software company in the first 3 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I'm 6 years in now, it would have been a resounding failure. And even still now, with all the work that I put in, it's still probably the most difficult business that I own. You need to understand that, look, you can start your billion-dollar unicorn company in 20 years when you have 20 years of being an entrepreneur and a business owner under your belt. But career timing right now, you need to have a business model and you need to have a way of getting free cash flow that matches your career timing at the moment. And the attributes need to match your career timing, because ladies and gentlemen, the thing they use to get from $0 to $100,000 a year in income is not always the same thing they use to get from 100K to $1 million a year in income. And very rarely is the thing that you do at $1 million a year in income the same thing that you do at 10 million a year in income. And to get from 10 million to 100 million a year in income, it's usually vastly different. The biggest asset you can have is free cash flow. Money each month to invest in assets that will provide generational wealth for you and your family. I see the opportunity that is there for you, and I want you to seize it. I want you to take it. And as difficult as 2020 to 2025 will be for most people, I want that to be your golden years, the glory days that you look back at and you were like, that was the nucleus to the empire that I went on to build. So go out there and build that empire.